Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We have Liberation Day coming up in the US. We're going to talk a little bit about what that is supposed to mean. Axelar ecosystem, of course, we have updates from them. Top 10 most rich people in the crypto industry. Brad Garlinghouse is on the list. We're going to show you that. And then Archax establishes a base in the US. We're going to discuss that. Of course, we're going to talk about ODL. We're going to talk about Bank of America. We're going to go through this Crippen Ritter. This is actually a really great thread of some really good information that you need to hear. We're going to talk about that and a few other things in this video. So let's go ahead and start here. Digital Assets Daily said only 2 days until Liberation Day. Liberate Ripple officially from the SEC and the courts. Get the SEC votes and official documents from the judge so American-based XRP can move beyond the suppression and get a level playing field. You know, if you've taken a look at the price over the last few years, it has been severely, suppressed either through whales or some other activity that just doesn't seem right or fair. So, I'm looking forward to the day where maybe that is lifted and we can actually start to see what XRP's true value is out in the world. Whether it's $5, $50, $100, $1,000, I don't care what it is. Well, obviously it'd be nice to have $1,000, but I want to see it. Like, what is its true value without all of this holding back? I'm sure you do too, right? It's been a long time coming. XRPL is no longer siloed. Axelar unlocks access to 55 chains, DeFi apps, and tokenized assets. XRP's next chapter is multi-chain. Axelar and the XRP ledger empowering blockchain interoperability. Axelar and Ripple partner to connect with 55 plus other blockchains. With this partnership, it enhances the movement of assets and data across its networks, thus increasing XRP's use within the Web3 ecosystem. It also has these takeaways here. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Improved accessibility to DeFi apps. Prior to this collaboration, XRP users had little options other than to leverage the XRP ledger's ecosystem. Now other DeFi applications on other blockchains like Ethereum, Avalanche, and Solana are also available. This allows them to lend, borrow, and trade XRP on different platforms, maximizing its real-world utility. There's also cross-chain smart contracts. Axelar is Axelar is the official interoperability solution that enables smart contracts on other blockchains and communicate with the XRP ledger. Using decentralized applications, also known as dApps, using XRP on top of multiple chains is now possible for developers to create advanced dApps alongside other assets to generate multi-chain financial services. This means that developers look for flexible and innovative blockchain solutions find XRP more attractive. There's also some information that says more liquidity for XRP. Axelar also connects XRPL to numerous blockchains, which creates more demand for XRP tokens. Higher liquidity allows for quicker transactions and better trading conditions for the users. This is all the more important for stablecoins, tokenized assets, and cross-border payments. It also talks about tokenization of real-world assets. We do know that XRP could really get to a high price if we start bringing on, 5 trillion, 10 trillion, 20, 30, 40, 50 trillion dollars over the next 5 to 10 years in real assets. That could just balloon and explode the price per XRP. And if we're locking up XRP in central banks or regular banks to hold long term, if we're locking up XRP in staking contracts, this is going to greatly reduce the circulating supply. You mix this reduction in circulating supply with all this extra value, and we have magic. All right. This also grants XRP holders with the ability to invest and trade various tokenized assets on multiple blockchain networks, boosting the numbers of use cases for the XRP ecosystem. Secure and efficient interoperability. Axelar empowers secure and fast chain transactions via general message passing. This makes transforming XRP across blockchains safer, more reliable, since the risk of hacks or bridge failures is reduced. Axelar's security protocols enable users to mitigate their assets with confidence, a major development in the XRP ecosystem. XRP is about to change once again, and it's all thanks to this new partnership. Axelar drives XRP as a critical infrastructure player in Web3 and blockchain finance by enabling multi-chain applications, better liquidity, and secure interoperability. This is only the start of a more connected, stronger XRP ecosystem. This is extremely, extremely bullish. And here are the top 10 richest people in the crypto industry. Here is our good friend Chris Larson, and Brad Garlinghouse is sitting in the 5 spot. I hope when XRP explodes, Brad Garlinghouse takes the #1 spot. It's interesting how Brad has more XRP than Chris Larson. Chris Larson was a co-founder, and Brad is the CEO of Ripple. Remember, he wasn't there when they first got going. It's interesting to see that Brad has more of a, more cake than he does. And maybe Brad had more money when he, came in. He was working at Yahoo when Yahoo was really big. Establishes US base, uses multiple chains for real world asset tokenization, including the XRP ledger, 50 trillion on chain. Remember the quote from Graham, the CEO of Archax, $50 trillion. Could you imagine what that would actually do to the price with the price multiplier? Even at a 50x, $50 trillion would bring us to about $250 trillion in market cap. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that would be 4-digit XRP. You also have on-demand liquidity, 755 million in 4 seconds. While the cryptocurrency community may have its doubts over Ripple's XRP cryptocurrency, banks seem to be enjoying its perks. A reported 755 million worth of XRP was transferred in 4 seconds and only cost 1 cent. Holy smokes. If you were sending this through regular banking rails, you'd be charged 1 to 4%. Could you imagine? Like millions of dollars. Hey, I'm going to send this payment. You're going to lose about $5 million sending that payment. Ooh, is there any other options? Well, we could use crypto and send it for a penny, but it's crypto. Penny versus millions? I'll take the penny, right? Like who wouldn't? All right. You do have this from Steph's Crypto. This is not breaking. We have known for some time that Bank of America is getting ready for XRP. We do know Bank of America has patents with XRP in the patents. We do know that it has been a long time coming. Krypton Ritter put this out over the past few days. Many newcomers have asked me one question and one question only. What do I need to keep in mind if I want to hold my keys in self-custody on the XRP ledger? My answer, it depends here. So these are all some of the wallets that you can use to do self-custody for XRP. I use Zaman. I use Ledger. I do have a Treasure, but Zaman and Ledger are the 2 places that I feel comfortable. A self-custody doesn't simply mean holding your own private keys to control your own account on the XRP Ledger. There's also the psychology effect that is about personal responsibility for all that happens. Background: if something goes terribly wrong, chances are very low that anyone will be able to help you, at least as things stand today. I'll try though. Be your own bank. Also, it has drawbacks. A background: this is where it stands to depend on who you are, your background knowledge, and the amount of trust you're willing to lend, and your overall willing to risk funds yourself. It talks about who you are. If you want to read this, guys, please do so. It talks about Solana and Ethereum OGs. Talks a little bit more about, Solana folks may want to use First Ledger. Desktop only people might want to use Cross Market EO. It does talk about trust here. I'll expand this. You know what? I'll include this whole thing if you want to go through this, because I know there's a lot of not new people that watch my channel. And I just want to keep, I want to be able to offer everybody a good amount of value for their time. So I'll include this down in the description. Go through it, please. Here is Jay Claver talking about the end of the 4-year cycle. This has been a big debate, including in my circle with my friends. They're telling me, hey, Rob, there's not going to be any 4-year circles. And I'm like, yeah, there will be. And so we're having this, I would say a controlled conversation, not an argument, but like they are adamant that we are getting rid of the 4-year cycle this year. And I am like, we're not quite there yet. We're really not quite there yet. Let me play this and I'll give you my 2 cents.
There's so much strength in the fundamentals and the undercurrent behind cryptocurrency, but it seems like we're still correlated with the broader stock market, which is very fragile. So what's your take on kind of the market volatility that we've seen recently?
Well, I mean, it's still nascent, right? It's only 3 trillion is a total market cap here. So it's still a risk on asset. And to your point, directly correlated with the stock market when breadth opens up there, or if the reverse carry trade or tariffs or whatever other narrative you want to put on it starts to put some pressure on things, they move in tandem. I'm hoping here in the near future, we're going to get some adoption at scale of some of these assets. And then I think you're going to see a big break in the direct correlation between, these risk on assets and the stock market and crypto. I don't know that people are going to be ready for that. I think the paradigm of the 4-year cycles is what everybody gets wrapped up in, and they think that that's going to continue. But I'm pretty confident that we're going to have some disruption this go around with regulation.
Listen, if he's right, if regulation comes in right now today and it goes into effect this year over the next few months, you might have the disruption in the 4-year cycle. If regulation is passed, willy-nilly in the summer, doesn't go into effect until like in 2025 sometime, that is not going to allow us to continue into breaking a 4-year cycle, in my personal opinion. But I want to hear from you. Are we going to continue in 4-year cycles for now, or do we break through in 2025? I'd love to hear from you. Here is 10 misconceptions on the XRP ledger that people mistake. I'm just going to go through them really quickly. I will allow you to pause the screen and read all of this, but it says XRP can't be pegged to gold or silver or anything else. XRP can't magically become a stablecoin. Stablecoins issued on the XRP are not XRP. The XRPL requires electricity to operate. XRP can only exist on the XRPL. Otherwise, it's an IOU. XRP has nothing to do with ISO 20022. Interledger doesn't require XRP. All of the money in the world will not run across the XRP ledger. Excuse me. The US government is not going to buy back your XRP, and RippleNet is totally different from the XRP ledger. I hope you guys got something out of this. If you did, please hit like. Please share with somebody you know. I've been Crypto Sensei. I will see you next time. Have a good week ahead. Aloha.